Hey, Missouri 4-H volunteers, welcome to another episode of Volunteer Vibe. We took a bit of a hiatus the past couple months as we let everyone kind of do their thing over the summer. People are very busy with camps and county fairs, and now we have state fair, which I'm sure you're all very excited about. In addition to the launching of the new 4-H building, which is, of course, very exciting, we also have the launching of another new initiative this week, which is the 4-H Alumni Association in Missouri. That initiative is being brought to us by the Missouri 4-H Foundation. So we thought today on The Vibe, we would have the Missouri 4-H Foundation on to talk about this incredible new initiative, the 4-H Alumni Association. With us today is Rachel Augustine, who is the Senior Director of Advancement for MU Extension and the Foundation, as well as Chris Willow, the Advancement Manager for the Foundation. Chris and Rachel are going to tell us all about the new initiative, the Alumni Association, and we will even provide a link at the end of the broadcast for you to get online and get more information and even get involved. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Volunteer Vibe.
Hey.
Okay. Welcome, Rachel and Chris, to Volunteer Vibe. It's so great to have you guys here. And so we are here today to talk about another very exciting initiative from the Missouri 4-H Foundation, which is the new Alumni Association. So let's start with, tell us a little bit about the Alumni Association and what do you guys hope it will accomplish?
Great. Well, thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here and to talk about the association. I would really say the Missouri 4-H Alumni Association is really about reconnecting people with a part of their lives that had a lot of impact on them. And we want to celebrate those experiences, their stories, but we also want to create new opportunities for them to stay connected and also to kind of hear about the next generation of 4-H members here in Missouri. It is free to join, and we're going to be sharing alumni stories. We're going to be highlighting what current 4-H members are doing in the state, and we're even going to be creating a Missouri 4-H alumni business directory so those alumni can showcase what they're doing in their careers and support one another. But ultimately, it's really about kind of creating a community for people who love 4-H to come together.
Okay, and I know a lot of states have alumni associations for 4-H. What made you guys decide to do this now at this particular time?
Yeah, we know that thousands of Missourians have been impacted by 4-H, and that can either be as a member or even as a volunteer or somebody who has even been in a business and met a 4-H member. We know that several people have been impacted by 4-H. So we feel like it's the right time to create that really strong network that helps the alumni and supporters come together and get engaged. But especially now, there's a really special kind of restoration that's been happening of this really beautiful building on
Okay.
the Missouri State Fair grounds. It's a 1905 building. I think it's been the home for 4-H since the 50s, and it's had an incredible restoration that's been happening. And so we feel the time is right with that. Along with, there is a really special upcoming 125th anniversary for 4-H nationwide happening next year. So with all those things happening, we thought it was the perfect time to kind of reimagine an alumni association in Missouri that connects the bridges of the past and brings it forward to the next generation of 4-Hers in Missouri.
That's great. A lot of exciting things happening.
Yeah.
You guys must be so busy. So,
We are. Yeah, I would
sorry, go
mention
ahead.
kind of the reason we're launching this. We thought the fair was the great time because we just know
Yeah,
there's a lot of energy and excitement about
yeah,
4-H, and so we thought the fair was the perfect time to do that.
yeah, great. So when we say 4-H alumni, who specifically are we talking about? What qualifies someone as an alumni for membership in this association?
Sure. It's a great question. Really, anyone who has participated in 4-H is considered an alum. That can be 1 year, that can be 9 years. But we really want this to be a really broad and welcoming association community for all members, as well as anyone that loves and supports 4-H. So it's not just limited if you were a member of 4-H. It's really open to anyone that really believes in 4-H, loves 4-H, is welcome to join.
Great.
Both Rachel and I had really relatively short experiences as kids for
Right.
4-H. I think I did
Me
4-H for
too.
about a year. I think Rachel did a couple years, but we're really proud to call ourselves alumni. But we also know there's a lot of volunteers or folks that have seen 4-H that may not have been members but love 4-H, and so we really want to make sure the association is open to those folks as well.
Oh, great. So you don't have to actually have served as a 4-H member. Okay,
No,
excellent.
yeah.
So what a lot of alumni associations, they sort of work differently and they have different perks and benefits for their members. What do you envision with the 4-H association, alumni association, in terms of what folks can expect from being members?
I think our main thought, like our biggest thought, is to have an opportunity to connect. I think is our big mission is for 4-H alumni, again, supporters and lovers of 4-H to come together in a way to connect, to meet each other, talk again about those experiences that they had, to receive updates about the programs. We're really hoping to have some fun events that might mean really fun reunions at the fair next year. It might mean some watch parties for some fun athletic events. It could be lots of different things, but it's about connecting, but also giving them an opportunity to tap into volunteering and experiencing that side of 4-H as well, and other ways to support 4-H. And so that's our big thought, is just connecting and bringing back together in a place that people can do that in person, virtually, lots of different opportunities.
Any,
I'll just add to
oh,
that,
sorry, go ahead.
Stephen, that it's also about capturing their stories and impact, and sort of helping us tell the story of 4-H to new generations so that they can see themselves and see the benefit of it, long term. So,
Yeah, and that's so important. And we know um, stories play a really important role in sort of passing down the meaning and the importance of the organization to the next generation, as you mentioned. And we do this a lot, and we see this a lot even in our research on 4-H and with our young people. They learn so much from those who've come before them. Right. And so to keep that going, I think the Alumni Association will play a really critical role in doing that. So, yeah, it's really exciting. Do you have any specific events, it's kind of on the burner that plan to start off with just to get things going? Like anything you
Yeah,
want to
I mean,
share at this point?
I don't want to give too many specifics, but we're
Sneak preview.
hoping sneak preview. We're maybe hoping to do something during homecoming. Maybe
Okay. Okay.
might be kind of something fun. That fortunately, homecoming is right before National 4-H Week, so we're hoping to maybe have some sort of opportunity for a meet and greet during homecoming week. We'd also would like to maybe host a Mizzou football watch party as well. So those are kind of things we're thinking about that are right on the get go, like here in the next coming months, that we'd like to do. And for sure, we know the fair is a big home for 4-H, so I know that we will plan a reunion, like think ice cream social, especially when it's so hot like it is right now.
Oh, yeah.
But those are some of our initial thoughts, and then we're just so excited to kind of take it from there to see what other, and we want to hear from the association members as they start to join. We want to
Yeah.
hear from them what they would like to do.
Yeah, so that's a great. I was going to ask a question about that. So, what are any kind of mechanisms in place for that, for the alumni to kind of, let the foundation know what they think in terms of the direction?
Yeah. So once they join in, it'll be pretty easy and quick for them to join the association.
Yeah.
We're actually going to have a couple spots that we're going to have dedicated groups. So there'll be a Facebook group, which is already started. We're going to then, as folks start to join this week, then we'll get them connected. If they are Facebook users, there is a dedicated group. We're going to do the same thing for LinkedIn. But then we also know that there may be folks who are not on either social platform. So as they sign up, we're going to get their email addresses as well so that we can kind of send out that information there. But the groups, I really like the idea of that, because that's where conversations can start to happen with the members.
Yeah.
So it'll be separate from the foundation's page on Facebook and on LinkedIn. These will actually be dedicated groups where conversations can happen.
Have you guys learned anything about in terms of how the Mizzou Alumni Association works? I know it's a very vibrant association. Did you guys kind of study them at all to see what they do?
Yeah. I'm a member of the Alumni Association at Mizzou. Rachel is as well,
Um,
and it took me a long time to join. I would say a little bit too, but I am really excited to have joined them recently. What I do like, and I think that we could probably grow the 4-H Alumni Association, is the start to see where chapters grow, and so
okay.
we might start to
Oh,
see
okay.
the counties start to have kind of local engagement as well,
Right.
because there's a lot that happens there too in
Right.
those local chapters. So I think that's definitely a good groundwork. We certainly tapped into that the Mizzou Alumni Association functions very similar to how we are wanting to do. You don't have to be a Mizzou alum in order to join. You can be kind of like a supporter and lover of Mizzou. And so we followed that. I thought that was a really great model. And so we
Yeah.
definitely brought that into it. Our association is free. The the Alumni Association for Mizzou does have a cost to it, but but there's a lot of that our colleagues have been able to share with us here on campus.
I would
Rachel,
also
did
just
you?
add that
Yeah.
we will have and will continue to look to our peer states because, as you mentioned earlier, Stephen, a lot of other states already have alumni associations. And so we will use them as examples for best practices for engaging with our alumni across the state.
Right, right. And so from those other, oh, sorry, go ahead, Rachel. You want to finish?
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking at some of those peer states models, do they, how do they get contribution, and how do you guys plan to get contribution beyond financial support
Sure, sure.
from volunteers?
Like our goal is to keep the association for free, so
Okay.
we wanted to have the ability for our folks to connect and re-engage, and
Yeah,
there not to be a cost to that.
right,
We do anticipate, as we host events, that it would probably be, there will be some small costs if there's, refreshments or things like that. There might be a small cost there. But as far as supporting, what we really wanted to do was, if a person who joins the Alumni Association, if they would like to support the Clover Fund, if they are, we have a way and an easy spot for them to do that. If they do that, then we actually have something in place that kind of gives them a gift package for making the gift so that they can share their alumni pride. So we have everything set up. If they would like to do a monetary donation, they are able to do that. And everything that is $40 and above is going to get a gift package, which is going to include a sticker that says Missouri 4-H alumni. They can put on their computer, their water bottle, their car to show their pride. And then there'll be a lapel pin that they would get that says 4-H alumni. And then each year there'll be a specially branded item that they would get, and could be a bandana that is a specially branded item that is going to be, our hopes would be potentially created by an alumni. For example, the bandana that I'm wearing was created by a 4-H alumni. Beth Snyder from Hanker Bandanas did this specially for us as part of the kickoff
nice.
for the building. And so that is this 2026 kickoff's gift, that anybody who joins the association makes a gift. But again, joining the association is free. But if they wanted to give beyond a monetary gift, we also know there's a ton of value in volunteering.
Yeah,
And so they can mentor youth. We can get them connected at the county level if they want to volunteer. And also just advocating for 4-H. I think that's a huge gift as well, as they start to get re-engaged with 4-H and talk about 4-H to their community, in their business. Like, advocating for 4-H is a huge gift as well.
right, right. Excellent. How do you guys see the Alumni Association, kind of continuing to play this supportive role for young people who are in 4-H today? Do you see it as an additional role? Do you see it as something they're already doing? Do you see it as opening up new possibilities? Were you able to make those connections at all as you kind of formulated this association?
Yeah, I think we kind of tapped into it a little bit when we were talking about. I definitely think advocating is huge,
Okay.
but I also do think there is this massive power of that storytelling, because, as we know, a lot of where an impact happens when folks that participate in 4-H, I would say as members, but also sometimes even as like project volunteers, is that interest and that spark that gets
Right.
started that can often carry through to their careers. So I think, as we are able to tap into more and more alumni sharing their stories, and we've been doing this for a little bit, about sharing stories with our from our alumni, and we're going to continue to do that. I think
Yeah.
there's a huge value for our current 4-H members to be able to see and hear these stories in an accessible way too, because we're going to tap into these stories and share those in other channels, and to see the impact of what they're doing right now, how that can carry them through in the future. Like, I had no idea I had this interest and it could make this happen. And so I think there's a big value to that anybody that's in the association would be able to have, and be able to see that flow through to the next generation.
Yeah, that's so true. Another thing that's come up, like in this, where we are in the state office, is engaging more of our young alumni, right? So they've, especially those who have spent so much time before H, and then they graduate, leave the program, and they start their lives, so to speak. But getting them and keeping them engaged, because they have so much to offer as alumni, back to the program. Any kind of ideas on how to really capture this sort of young crew of alumni?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like forefront in our thoughts is to have that young alumni generation, crossing several generations. But I think kind of working on meeting them where they're at and their busy schedules.
Right.
So I think that's where we have the opportunity to do a lot of virtual and in-person opportunities. But if we can do a lot of features and even have things, we all know how things have changed and how people want to
Yeah.
see quick snippets of things. And I think like making sure we're following that and we're meeting them in that place so
Yeah.
that we can have then this information to share out there. So I think that that's going to be a big part. I also find that there's a lot of the young alumni that when we're meeting them and talking to them, especially even when they're still in college, they're still excited to really share their stories and to give back. And so I think even finding events that happen both at the foundation and at the state level, if it's close to where they're at, we know a lot of them are in schools and colleges far away and then sometimes leave the state. But I definitely think tapping into what they're wanting to do, I think is going to be a big part too. Like as we start to get them to join, again, finding out what are you interested? What would you like to do? I'm talking to our colleagues again at the Mizzou Alumni Association and our foundation colleagues because I think that's going to be an important part. Again, is meeting them where they're at and meeting those busy schedules.
Right. Yeah. So for someone who has maybe not who was involved in 4-H many years ago as a young person, but they haven't been involved in the program for a while,
Mhm.
how do you hope or plan to get them kind of re-engaged, or what would you do to encourage them to get them involved in the alumni association?
Yeah, I think we would just start to kind of, again, kind of reminding them that most likely, whether they were a member or, again, if we have a volunteer, 4 H likely had a pretty big lasting impact on their life. And so we'd want to just try to make sure that we remind them that their experience really did matter and their experience can still inspire today's youth. And we'd really love to welcome them back. So I think it's, again, kind of reminding them we are out and about so many times that we'll meet folks and they're like, I loved 4 H. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, they remember it and they live it. So I think it's like tapping into that memory that how much they loved 4 H and participated in it and say, it's still really, really valuable. What you experienced can really help affect the next generation of 4 H's. I think so. It's like tapping into that memory and letting them know there's a way to like connect with others and that there's really still a huge, huge opportunity for them to affect the next coming group that's coming up for years to come.
Right. And we know that 4-H is all about relationships. And so maybe reconnecting them through those relationships that they had, many years ago, that may have been still very important to them, right? So giving them
Yeah.
that opportunity to reconnect with those people might also get them re-engaged again. So that sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to join, what can they
Yeah.
do? How can they get involved?
Yeah, for sure. So we have, I'm sure we'll link it up here somewhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I can include the link.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, so the Missouri 4-H Foundation website is on the extension website. We have a whole page dedicated to alumni. So there's a quick, easy link that you can click on and just enter your information to join the association. And then we'll kind of take it from there. We'll get you set up. And then we'll send out links should you care to join those social platforms, and we'll get that sent out as well. And then we're ready to go. We're going to start getting information out, figuring out what events we want to do. But it's easy as that to join. And then likewise, if folks would like to go ahead and support the Clover Fund, we have a link to that as well. And so we're really excited to kind of have that. If you go to our site now, you can actually start to see those alumni features and stories that we've done and how those, that could be you if you want
Excellent.
to do that. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, this is all very exciting. Rachel, would you like to add anything there at the end?
I mean, there's a reason that Chris is leading this initiative. She's very
Yeah.
passionate about it, and I couldn't have said any of the information. I couldn't have shared any of the information better. So
Excellent.
she's kind of the lead for alumni for the foundation. So.
Well, great. This is very exciting. I'm sure our volunteers who are listening are going to be very excited about this. Even when I talk to them, you hear this all the time, like, why don't we have an alumni association? And people talk about how they would love to have one. So this is really exciting. And just thank you to both of you for all you do.
Yeah.
Missouri 4-H Foundation is so integral to the success of this program in the state. I know as the volunteer specialist, all that I do comes from your support. So I couldn't do anything without your support. So I just hope the volunteers, recognize the incredible work that you do and the support that you provide the program. And then also just to mention to everyone who is who are those who are coming to the volunteer conference in October. The foundation will be presenting at the dinner on Friday night, and so that's also very exciting. We're glad to have you guys coming again. Last time it was really successful, and everyone enjoyed it. So, thank you, guys, Chris, and
Yeah.
Rachel, for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, Seema, I
Thank
guess
you.
my just last thought would be also to the volunteers, just like their 4-H experience matters so much to us, and I just want to let you know you're an important part of the 4-H family, and so excited to meet folks in October that are there. Please join the Alumni Association. I just think there's going to be a lot of great synergy, and we look forward to making this part of Missouri 4-H history.
Great. See you at the fair.
See
All right,
ya.
we'll see you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.